Welcome to Career Coaching Secrets Podcast. I'm Pedro, and today's guest is Sophia Casey, a master certified coach and global leadership voice known as a true coach's coach. As the founder of ICLI Rising and ICF accredited coaching school rooted in liberation, leadership, and love, she's trained, mentored, and evaluated thousands of coaches while supporting executives and teams at organizations like Google, TJ Maxx, and BetterUp. A best-selling author and international speaker, Sophia brings decades of experience across corporate, nonprofit, and entrepreneurial spaces. Her work helps leaders and coaches get clear, aligned, and backed into their zone of genius, leading with both rigor and heart. Welcome to the show, Sophia.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Come on the road with me. That's the best introduction ever.
Well, you built it. It's your fault.
Wow. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Well,
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And it's great to have you, Sophia, but I like to backtrack a bit. I like that first edition, that will tell me the origin story, So
Yeah.
every coach has that moment where they look at their life and say, oh, you know what? I guess this is what I'm doing now. When was that for you?
Well, it was, it actually, one of my sorority sisters, I just noticed something was different about her. Like I couldn't pinpoint it. It wasn't her, like that she had changed her hair, but it was something about her, like her being had changed. And so I asked her one day, I'm like, what's up, girlfriend? Like something clearly is different. What are you doing? And she shared, she goes, well, I've been working with a coach. And I'm like, what a coach? What do you mean? And I thought she meant like some type of trainer or physical trainer, training like that. And she's like, no, I guess he would be considered like a life coach. And I've just had some really major shifts in my life and then how I'm showing up. I was like, okay, I'll have what she's having. So she said, hey, let me give you his information. So long story short, I end up doing a coaching session, just like a sample session, if you will, with her coach. And literally 10 minutes into the conversation, I was like, OMG, this is what I am meant to do. And so then he introduced me to coach training. So I went through formal coach training, but I'm telling you, it blew my mind. Like how much, not just how much I got through in the conversation in terms of like goal setting and that sort of thing, but how much I got for myself in like 15 minutes. I was like, I am hooked. Yeah.
Well, that's great. I mean, and when did it shift, from you talk to your girlfriend and hey, you were introduced to this coach, but what I want to understand is when it's shift from I'm helping people to, you know what, I'm building a real business around this.
Absolutely. Well, a big contributor to that is going through formal coach training and really learning about I won't say the true definition because I'll get into a debate there, but another definition of coaching. So the International Coaching Federation's definition. And going through the formal training was very helpful. Also, again, very transformative for myself, not just in terms of like learning coaching skills. So it really was during coach training that I was like, okay, the light bulb went off. Like I could actually make this a career. This can be my career. And I was working full time at the time. I had a pretty big job at the time, senior manager. But yeah, there was one day I would say during coach training that I was like, you know what? I think I can do this as a business. And they were very supportive of that too. So that helped, of course.
Okay. And after you got rolling, who are the people that kept showing up? The ones you realize, okay, this is my crew.
Oh my gosh. Certainly the instructors in the program, but also we were assigned mentor coaches who just kind of supported us all the way through with, making sure that we really were demonstrating those coaching skills. So that was huge. But also I would say my one-on-one coaches, my one-on-one life coaches, life and leadership coaches, it just really blew my mind, Pedro, like how I couldn't scare them. I tend to be a big presence and very, gregarious. And sometimes people do get a little bit like, oh my goodness, a little intimidated. And I say that unapologetically. But these coaches, and I'm thinking about one in particular that I first started working with, she just didn't get on the court with me and my drama and my when my saboteurs were acting cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and running amok. And I was really impressed by that. So it's like she coached me from a place of accountability, but there was love in her coaching. There was leadership in her coaching, and a whole lot of, you're not going to derail me because I'm not on the court. This is about you, Sophia. This is not about me. And I was like, okay, I want more of that.
I mean, that's the coaching side. I want to talk about something that's a bit different, and it's marketing, okay? Because I understand that you certify coaches, right?
Yes.
And the ICF and enroll them
Yes.
and all of that with
Absolutely.
the ICLI Rising. So
Yeah.
how do they usually find you?
That's a great question. So originally, when I got started, social media, I'm dating myself, social media wasn't even close to as popular as it is now. And I started thinking about, like, how can I connect with people? Like, how can I cast a big net as opposed to like one at a time. And one of my colleagues and I, we were both brainstorming this, like, how do we build our business? How do we market our businesses? And so we actually came up with going live on Facebook. So that tells you I'm really dating myself. Facebook, going live on Facebook. And I just started talking to people. Literally just started talking to people. Like, at one point I named it the Mojo Minute. Like, come get a minute of something for your mojo. Like, I just literally made it up because I wanted to connect. That was my intention, to connect with people. And it blew up. It got really, really popular, and people started to know, like, and trust me, as we talk about a lot in business. And that morphed into them getting curious about hiring me as a coach, or telling their friends and their family members or their bosses about me as a coach. So that, I'm telling you, Facebook really, really helped me market my business and market to a wide audience versus, like I said, just that one-on-one. And then from there, since I grew my confidence around Facebook, then I went to other platforms like Instagram and LinkedIn and that sort of thing. But I tell you, at the root of it, it's connection. It's building relationship. Like, I get asked all the time, Sophia, how is it that you're so successful in all your businesses? It is because I love building relationship. There really is. I wish I had something fancier to say.
I mean,
I
it
don't.
doesn't have to be, right? Sometimes I see a lot of people that are trying to find that secret sauce, that, that magic word. And then they say this, and I'm going to say that. And it's a $1 million idea. And not really like that, right? It's the small things.
Yeah, they want me to give them a formula. And I'm like, I mean, we train on a lot of business skills and marketing and all that stuff in our programs. But I'm like, it all boils down to building a relationship. I'm like, I don't have another or a better formula. It all starts and ends with relationship.
Yeah, that resonates a lot with me. Okay. I mean, let's talk business for a second.
Yeah, one of my favorite topics.
That's your favorite. Okay. So people find you either through Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, whatever social media we're talking today. So they resonate with your work, right? The other coaches, they want to get, certified. And eventually they want to know what working with you actually looks like. So everyone builds their coaching business a bit differently, especially yours, right? So when someone actually becomes a client, what does that experience look like right now?
Oh my gosh. I'm addicted to that experience. Once someone decides, like, maybe they've seen me online, or, maybe they've been referred to me, or maybe I've done a workshop or something in their organization. But typically what happens is, we get all the logistics stuff out of the way, and then we start doing a deep dive around who they are and what they want. And Pedro, I cannot express to you how many times people have been stumped by the question of, what do you want? What do you want? Like, what do you really, really want? Like, forget all the how to and all that stuff. Like, what do you really want? And so that's typically where we start. who are you and what do you want? And those can be some very, very transformative and deep conversations because you can imagine all sorts of stuff bubbles up. Something as simple as also, I don't know. I really don't know what I want. So then it's like we go on this almost like a scavenger hunt of, sorting that out and figuring that out, or me supporting them and figuring that out.
I mean, I need to highlight something here. What do you want, that they sometimes trip over. I'm not sure if you agree with me. This is something that I'm just thinking out loud. It's like,
Sure.
our father, at least my dad, like on my experience, it sounds like they used to pave the way to tell other people what they should be doing, and then we see ourselves in today's world and it's changing, like not in decades, but in years. Do you feel like there's a generational difference, or that our fathers or before them had this idea cemented for their own kids?
Most definitely. When I look at, I coach a lot of coaches also. So when I look over, all the coaches I've supported, entrepreneurs, the executives that I have worked with, my clientele runs, I think, 3 or 4 demographics. Yeah. So baby boomers, Gen X, Gen Z. And I would say, yes, there is a difference. I've noticed a difference. One of the things that stands out for me mostly is that millennials and I would say Gen Zs are more risk takers than I noticed, like with the baby boomers, I imagine it's because of what you said. Like back then, it's like, no, what you were going to do, your career, your business, whatever your journey was really prescribed to you. And sometimes even when you were a little child, like this is what you're going to do. Yeah, like my parents wanted me to be a medical doctor. No, thank you.
Bye, Daddy. Not gonna happen.
Not doing that. But fortunately, my son is on that path. So great, it works for him. But yeah, I would say that's one of the biggest differences that I've noticed is that the younger generations, and I'm saying younger than me, but younger generations are more risk takers. To me, they're more curious about trying something out, seeing how something works. And also, I would say another big difference is there's less of a fear of saying, nah, I don't like that. I changed my mind. I'm going to go test out something else.
Let me ask you this, Sophia. I'm not sure how much are you involved in ops, right? With your clients and how that plays out. Just so I can understand the big picture. When someone joins your program, we're talking about one-on-ones, we're talking about group coaching, the structure itself. How does that play out?
Yes. So some of our customers, if you will, they actually come to us sponsored, company sponsors. So like their organization has decided that coaching or coach training would be very supportive of them. We love those. So sometimes they come to us that way for sure. And in terms of like the operations side of it, I'm not really, really involved on that end. Now, of course, for my one-on-one clients, I'm a lot more involved in the operations. Although this year I made a big declaration, and that is that I'm pulling away from being so involved on the operations side so that I can go do more of what's in my zone of genius, which is stuff like this and talking and traveling the world and sharing about the power of coaching. So I've pulled away from operations quite a bit.
Interesting. Okay. I like the zone of genius mentality also. Like, would like to pinpoint that. So I want to tap into your experience a little bit, because I know you're in a different position now, right? But one thing every coach wrestles at some point is pricing and how to package their work. So how do you think about it today? Because we see a lot of coaches and our audience, there are a lot of coaches too, and people looking for coaches. So we see a lot of self-worth trip onto, am I worth it? Should I be charging X or Z, So were there any lessons along the way that shaped how you landed where you are right now?
Yes, absolutely. Literally, I can't make this stuff up. I literally just had that conversation with a new coach. This person is a former executive and now they're coming into the coaching industry. And you can imagine I have these conversations a lot. And my belief behind it is your worthiness has nothing to do with what you're actually providing. I mean, I can giggle about it now, but when I first started, I completely collapsed those two. Like when I was thinking about like what I was going to charge for one-on-one coaching, I had the sweaty palms, the dry throat. I would, the very quickly beating heart because I was afraid because I did put them together. And I'm like, who am I to charge, hundreds, thousands of dollars when I'm just starting out, first of all? Who am I to do that? Because I did couple them together. Another thing that really has stood out for me and has been very pivotal in helping me decouple that, like I was born worthy. Okay, so that's where I am now. So to go from, oh my gosh, who am I to charge this to all the way to, yeah, I am worthy. That took a lot of work. It took a lot of work. And a big part of the work was accepting a new definition of value, like the value that I provide, the value of my coaching. And one of the things I learned, and I had a lot of support around this, lots of coaches and therapists have supported me around this, and some of my coaching besties too. But one of the things that was really an eye-opener for me, Pedro, is I started learning that in order to really be a good coach, to be an effective coach, I want to have the mindset that this coaching conversation is actually not about me. It's about Pedro, right? You came here to work on your goals. This is about you and your goals in your life. So if that's truth, so if I accept that as truth, then that means I don't have to perform for you. Just got goosebumps. That means I don't have to perform for you. In other words, I don't have to be an expert podcaster in order to support you around any goal that you have, whether it's around, increasing the number of views you have on your podcast or whatever it is, or it's, deepening your relationship with your brother. I can coach you and support you around any goal at all because I don't have to be an expert at what you're an expert at, and I don't have to perform. That was a huge, huge shift. And when I hear coaches really, really stuck in their businesses and, they've graduated from coach training and then 2 years later, they're still not working in their coaching business, most times it's because of that confidence is tied to, I have to be an expert at what this person's an expert at.
That's not true.
Not true. It's not true. Like one of my clients that I worked with for quite some time, I would say is like the equivalent of like 4th, 5th in command at Hewlett Packard. So of course I'm changing the company name to protect confidences. Let's say like the 4th, 5th person from the top at Hewlett Packard. What do I know about servers and mainframes and cloud computing and putting together computers? Zero. I know how to turn my computer on. I know how to do what I need to do for my work. And I know how to turn it off. And years ago, I would have walked into that relationship having this person want to hire me as their coach. I would have been extremely nervous. I probably would have talked myself and them out of hiring me because I was relating to it as I better go Google cloud computing. I better go do my research. I got to know as much about their life and their business as they do. Like now when I say it, it's like, really, Sophia? Yeah, I really did believe that. So now when people come to me and they say, hey, Sophia, I just want to do like I call mine chemistry calls. Like I just want to, do a sample coaching session with you, check you out a little bit, check out coaching a little bit. It's rare that I'm nervous about it. Because it's not about me.
That's so true. And coaching is a different skill set. It's not about the task itself of, like if you have a guy that's a GOAT, let's say Michael Jordan, right? You cannot have someone as good as Michael Jordan to coach him, or even Mike Tyson. You need a guy that has the skill set to coach that type of person.
To coach. Yes. to coach that person. But they don't have to be, as you said, they don't have to be as skilled in the same area as that person, as
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan. And I get it, right? If you look out there in those internet streets and you look at coach and what the definition of coach, the definition out there on the internet is an expert, an expert.
Mm-hmm.
Hire me as your book coach and you will be a New York Times best-selling author in 3 months. A lot of coaches are setting themselves up, promise a lot that can't be delivered upon. So once you shift the mindset to like, I actually am not the expert,
Mm-hmm.
because that would be a consultant now. I am a consultant too. Now, you want to hire me as a consultant, that's a totally different conversation. But
Mm-hmm.
in this coaching relationship, I'm not the expert of your life. I'm here to support you. Maybe you've seen some blind spots, maybe noticing some barriers or things that have gotten in the way, but helping you co-create in this space for you to actually have what it is that you say you want. I don't have to be an expert to do that.
Yeah, and the fact that the coach is not emotionally attached to the situation makes it so easy to see, right? And when I'm looking at my stuff, I'm like, oh my God, this is unsolvable and blah blah blah. And I'm looking at my wife's stuff and I'm like, that's where you're wrong, or that's what happened. And she's like, oh, that's true. And I'm like, oh my God. But when it's with us, it's not that easy, right?
Absolutely. That's so good. That's so juicy. So spot on. I talk in food terms. That's so juicy. That's so delicious. Because it's, and I get into this debate all the time. I love debating with my fellow coaching besties and coaching colleagues around, can you coach yourself? So I say that, yeah, I can use my coaching skills that I've learned to maybe reflect on something, maybe get more awareness around something around myself. And at the same time, I believe someone on the outside of me is a better coach for me than I am for myself. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's a solid look at how you approach price and structure. I love that. Now, I'm
Absolutely.
curious about where you're taking all this, Sophia. Looking ahead, and I
Yeah.
know you talked a little bit about it, but where do you see the business going? Are you thinking about scaling, hiring, or is there a next step you're excited about?
Yes, 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 yes. So a lot of scaling pains this year. And it is still my focus. My focus is that, well, I have 3 businesses, but my focus is to really scale our international coach training school. And one way that we're already doing that is really focusing even more globally, even more. Before we're US based, so we were very Western centric, if you will. And now,
Mm-hmm.
thanks to some wonderful, wonderful colleagues and some new hires as instructors and mentor coaches on our team, we're starting to think a lot more globally. So yeah, so scaling is definitely at the top of my priority list for next year, to focus on that for sure. Well, this year and next year to focus on
Mm-hmm.
that is scaling for sure. And
Mm.
like I said, I think a big part of scaling, at least for me, is pulling back from the operations. Like when I'm
Oh.
in the operations, I'm so tunnel vision on the operations, the processes, the procedures, the enrollment process, getting these people, getting leads, and all of that. I'm so deep into it that it cuts off my creativity to actually think bigger and to think globally, like I said.
You know what? There's something that sparked my curiosity here, and we see a lot. I'm not sure if you agree with me, but I'm gonna paint the picture for you. We see a lot of career coaches that they're confident they can deliver results and help
Yes,
their clients get to X to Y, and that's something that they're confident about. But
absolutely.
sometimes they think they're so unique they cannot teach another person to be a coach and handle ops. Like, hey, I am the coach and it has to be me because it's so unique. Do you see that happening often more than not?
I see kind of on the other end of coaches not working in their business because they're getting stopped by that mindset.
Mm.
That in order to be a good business person, I have to be really, really great at all these things. And it goes back to what I said earlier. You don't have to be great at all those things. source that out, go get some support around it. Like that is
Mm-hmm.
not your zone of genius. At least for me, I'll talk about it. Was not my business was not my zone of genius, even though both of my parents had businesses forever since I was a
Mm-hmm.
toddler. It still was not my zone of genius. It still isn't. I am learning. So one of the things that I did is I went and got a mentor. And
Mm.
he's amazing. I got a mentor, right? I'm going to get another mentor to support me around the business side of what I do so that I can spend more time being in my zone of genius.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And of course, whenever we're aiming toward the next chapter, there's always something we're refining in the present. So,
Yes.
what are you currently,
Definitely.
exactly, what are you currently trying to improve or tighten up in your business right now so you can, diminish those scaling pains, like you said?
OMG. Did my team set you up to ask me that question? Because
No,
they will
I'm
be,
not guilty. I'm not guilty. Sorry.
Pedro, they will be so happy to know that you just asked me that question because it's something that they're supporting me around as well. So I'll say, I believe I'll just take the coach training school. One thing that when we really, really do a great job at this, things will be ease and flow and smooth sailing. And that is follow through. Follow through after you've generated the leads, right? The potential
Mm-hmm.
students, the potential corporations who want to hire us to train on coaching. Once you've done all that, then what? It's that then what piece. I say all the
Mm.
time, part of my zone of genius, I can bring all the boys to the yard. No problem. No problem. That's a song too. I can bring
Mm.
all the boys to the yard because of my natural ability to connect and build relationship instantaneously. Right? That part's easy
Mm-hmm.
for me. And then it's like, okay, I bring all the people to the yard. They're all excited. Oh my gosh. And then what? And so I am really, really zoning in and getting a lot more focused around having processes, procedures, systems in place. I love AI.
Mm.
I'm loving getting more curious about using AI, but getting really, really focused on what are those foundational structures that we can have in place so that I can continue to bring all the boys to the yard, but the boys actually get supported, like to get all the way to
Mm-hmm.
class or get all the way to whatever the product that we're selling. Yeah, that has been a big, big gap for us for the last year and a half.
Mm. Get that full circle. Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense. And
until now.
it's crucial.
It is
Until now,
crucial.
yeah,
It
it's
is crucial.
crucial. It's on the bucket list for 2026. I
Big
know
time.
you'll get there.
Big
Okay.
our CRM got hundreds and hundreds and maybe no thousands, not even hundreds of names, right? And leads.
Mm-hmm.
And the majority of those people were like, oh my God, I'm so excited. So
Mm.
I've really been focused on also like learning more, documenting how I do enrollment and how I build relationships and documenting like the sales side so that we can copy that, reproduce it, repeat, 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 and train others
Mm-hmm.
to do that. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Sophia, I want to tap into your experience for a second because people listening can really benefit from this. You've been in the game, 30 years and 16 as a coach. It's long enough to hear all kinds of business advice. I can tell you that. Some that stick, some that really doesn't. So,
Sure.
what's one piece of business advice you hear all the time that you think this is overrated or maybe misunderstood?
Oh my gosh. That you have to grind. Grind, grind, grind. Pull yourself up. I mean, like, that word, like, if you want to trigger me, you just say the word grind. But yeah, that you have to work more and you have to work harder to be successful. Like if you're not being successful or seeing the success that you want to see, we hear it all the time. Well, you need to roll up your sleeves more. You need to put in more hours. You need to put in more time. No, I feel like a rebel. I feel like a rebel entrepreneur. A lot of times I'm like, no, I am not. Now, there was a time where I was like, okay, sure. And I did that. I also did when I worked a 9 to 5 job. My 9 to 5 job was a 9 to 9 job. So I'm used to grinding it out. I'm used to working a lot of hours. I mean, my average day was 14-hour days. Like that was just my norm. And then I learned another way. And I'm still in process. I want to be clear. It's not like I've arrived. I've arrived to the Mecca. I am still in process with this. And what I'm learning and what I'm playing around with and getting even more and more curious around is, can I have all that I desire in my businesses without the grind? Like every now and then, hey, let's get in the room, roll up our sleeves, grind it out, right? Maybe we have some big project or something that we're working on, but not having that be my everyday. No. One of the scary things that I did, it was scary for me because I tend to be one who loves to work, is I recommitted to taking 1 weekday off every week. Excuse me, 1 weekday off every week. And I tell you, even still, I have to really talk myself through it. Like, Sophia, no, you're off. No meetings whatsoever. No meetings. Because then, of course, I'll get a text message or I'll get a call or an email. Hey, Sophia, just really quickly, let me jump on the schedule. And of course, all sorts of things are happening over here. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to miss this opportunity. And what I've learned is that that's the quickest way to burn out.
Yeah. I mean, the relationship with your own business, right? Not that it's sometimes we see people that are serving their businesses instead of the other way around. The business should serve them. They built it, right? And now they have this ball of chain around their ankle and they're like, oh my God, I'm working 13 hours, 14 hours a day, right?
Yeah. Well, a lot of my, fellow entrepreneurs, it's just like an understood thing that entrepreneurs work every weekend. Like you work 7 days a week. And I'm like, no, I am not subscribing to that. There was a point in time I did. I said, I'm not subscribing to that. So my Sundays are definitely very holy for me. There's no work happening and sometimes I will work, like if we're going to have a training class on a Saturday, well, of course, yeah, I'm working. But I tell you, that has been, and that mindset, like, I don't feel like it's going away. That grind it out, work more. You need to work more in your business. I don't think it's going away. And I'm grateful for the power of coaching because coaching and therapy, I always have both, really helped me break free from that. And like I said, I'm still in process. I still have to remind myself, like Sophia, about a month or so ago, I literally was on this beautiful, beautiful island. And I actually got to go there for work. It was an actual facilitation opportunity. But even while I'm there, being in my zone of genius, enjoying what I do, facilitating, speaking, blah, blah, blah. There was a moment I remember sitting in a restaurant overlooking the beautiful, beautiful ocean. Sun is setting, and I started to feel guilty. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're sitting here enjoying this. You need to be doing something operations related probably, but you need to be doing something. You need to be working on your business. And I'm telling you, that has really been a huge breakthrough for me. And of course, my saboteurs and my inner critics, whisper in my ear sometimes and say, see, if you hadn't been sitting there enjoying that sunset, you could have responded to that email. You may have missed this. And so now I've been really focusing on this word that actually I learned from Oprah Winfrey. Years ago, I got to go on the Oprah Winfrey cruise, and it's JOMO, the joy of missing out, not FOMO. The joy of missing out. And can I actually enjoy not being there, not being involved, not being controlling, not running the show? Yeah. Can I do that?
Yeah. I mean, I find it amusing because if my grandma had wheels, she would be in a bicycle, right? So It's not about the ifs. It's about, it is what it is. Sometimes we just have to accept it, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah. And on the other side, Sophia, what's a piece of advice you wish more people actually took seriously?
I really wish we as entrepreneurs really at least gave it a go, at least considered that the more rest that I have, the more I pour into myself, the more I allow myself to go to these beautiful places and watch sunsets and sunrises. Like, it really does have a great ROI. It does pay off because when you are doing those things that are in your lane, you're better at it. You're so much better at it. So I mentioned a trip that I went on. While I was there, actually, I had a coach training cohort running at the same time while I'm there facilitating and speaking at this event. It was the first time ever in my entrepreneurial career where I could really unplug and have my team completely manage that training cohort so that I could be present.
Mm.
So it's like, it's more than like the bubble baths and like I said, the rest, all of that's really important, but it's also delegating and trusting others to do what they're really good at. And I'm telling you, I experienced it and now I want more and more and more to be able to have my cohorts. The cohorts are running just fine and I'm out there doing CEO work.
I love that. Sophia, and if someone listening wants to connect with you or follow your work, where can people find you and connect with you?
Well, I tell you, if they just search Sophia Casey, they will find me everywhere. On all the social media platforms for sure. And we talked about ICLI Rising, our coach training school. They can go to ICLIrising.com. And then in terms of me loving my zone of genius and being very good at being a speaker and facilitator, they only need to visit Sophia Casey Speaks.
Okay. You know, Sophia, there were a few things that you shared today that really stuck with me. I mean, the fact that you were so open to understand what coaching is, you know, when sometimes we see people looking at something new and they don't get it, they're like, oh, I'm kind of new. I don't want to know about it. But you were so open to it. You're like, hey, that sounds cool, you know, and sometimes it's that simple, right? It's like looking at something that you feel like it's cool and just exploring a bit, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, it doesn't work out, guess what?
Yeah.
You can choose something else.
Exactly. Also, the journey, right? That you started on Facebook, you know, thanks Zuckerberg. But, you know, back in the day, I love that. And today, of course, it's more complicated, more complex, different social medias, but the simplicity of it, I really love that. You know, it's just about connecting with people. That's your zone of genius. So, also love the fact that you're addicted to the experience, right? The journey for your clients or customers, however you want to call them.
Yeah.
Really fun. And for the last part, I would say that you're so opposed to grinding, you know. I can resonate with that. Sometimes I felt like, and that's not, sometimes it happens also. It's like you're feeling guilty because you're not producing. You're feeling guilty because sometimes I'm with my kids and I'm thinking about work and I'm like, should I be thinking about work? And trying to, you know, suppress those thoughts or trying to own it. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure out. I'm not Sophia.
Well,
I'll get there.
You're still trying to figure it out.
Exactly.
You see, that's what's important, right?
Yeah.
And that you're taking a look at it like, should I be doing this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And not trying to push it down. Like, hey.
Yeah, or my wife will grab the gun and say, hey, just drop the cell phone, you know.
Oh my gosh. Well, my teenage son helped me with that one. He was like, he just stopped talking. We were in a conversation and he just stopped talking. I said, what happened? Why'd you stop talking? He says, because you're not listening. You're on your phone.
Yeah. I mean, Sophia, that's so true. And I appreciate what you do. I appreciate you being here and sharing so openly today. It was great having you on.
Grateful. It's great being here. You're so easy to talk to. See, building relationship. It was easy.
Thank you.
That's it for this episode of Career Coaching Secrets. If you enjoyed this conversation, You can subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this episode to catch future episodes. This podcast was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to $100,000 years, $100,000 months, or even $100,000 weeks, all without burning out and making sure that you're making the impact and having the life that you want. To learn more about our community and how we can help you, visit joinpurplecircle.com.